Hey, New York Jet fans from all around the world. Welcome to Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast. The show that delivers you all your Jets content. Here are your hosts, John, Adden, and Monty. All the best to the New York Jet fans. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets.
All right. Welcome to Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast. Yeah, we decided to do another episode this week relating to the mock drafts. We're your hosts, John, Adnan, and Monty. At some point, we got to call Fireman Ed to get your name right.
Hey, listen, he's close enough, but I love how he tries to be quiet with the Jets chat. He's almost whispering it. It's like,
you think his wife is in the background, just like
probably.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm thinking he wants to scream it, but he knows he can't.
He doesn't even like football. You know, like, have you ever seen Fireman Ed go to a game with his wife?
Never.
No.
Never. Hot take. Yeah, hot take. His wife hates football. Ooh. Yeah, I should have made a banner for that, but that's okay. Just like have it, you know, as breaking news. You know,
breaking news: Fireman Ed's wife actually loves polo.
Polo.
All right, so basically, what we decided to do. Obviously, there's some news out there that well, first off, in any regular draft, right? There's going to be trades, right? On draft day and even leading up to draft day. But we're basically going to kind of do the thing where we're going to go through the first 9 picks again with the same guys that we picked the other 9, right? So we kind of went through that thought process and we think it's fair, right? And also we're going to basically simulate a trade back with a team that is looking to trade up and potentially to pick number 10. And that one is, per the rumors, is the Indianapolis Colts, who have their eyes on Brock Bowers. Is that fair, boys?
That's fair. Exactly right.
Okay, so basically we're going to go into the mock draft thing. I am per PFF, we can steal you. Mm-hmm. Basically, we're going to do this. We're going to go to the screen. Thank you, what's it called? The StreamYard for
StreamYard.
And not charging us that much. And also thank you to Buffalo Jets fan for basically recommending this platform.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So basically, we're going to start the draft, right? Here we go. All right, so to go through the order again, yes, the other day we had Caleb Williams going to the Bears. What a shocking turn of events. Okay, and then Washington, I believe we went with
Jaden Daniels.
Because what's-his-face is high on LSU guys. Monty is. Okay, Patriots going to go Drake May. And once again, mine just selected LSU guy because of that pedigree. Although I will say Ohio State has a lot of pedigree too. And actually, before we stop, arguably, who has the better wide receiver pedigree? LSU or Ohio State? Because those are probably the 2 wide receiver used besides maybe Alabama in the mix too, right?
It's really close, man. But with Jefferson and Chase,
I think you got to give that to
LSU. Landry, those are the 4, right?
Yeah.
Ohio State, you get to pick their 4 all times, right? I guess it would be. I guess Marvin Harrison Sr. was he an Ohio State guy?
Was he a Buckeye?
No.
No, he wasn't a Buckeye.
No.
Okay. Well, you got Terry, Garrett Wilson, of course, right?
Yep.
Michael Thomas, even though he's not what he was now, he was arguably the best receiver for a good 2 years.
Yeah, Michael Thomas is definitely up there.
Right. And there's probably guys we're thinking of way back in the day, too. Chris Carter.
But you can do that. You can do that with LSU, too. I think, like, recently, looking at it recently, you can say Michael Thomas. I think Garrett Wilson is there. Chris Olave has been very good. You know, so I think it is kind of comparable. But at the end of the day, with Chase and Jefferson, I don't think you get better than that.
Marvin Harrison Sr. went to Syracuse, by the way.
Chris Carter is Ohio State's.
Chris Carter is Ohio State, yeah.
Hey, you heard Marvin Harrison Sr. went to Syracuse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was with Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Was it Dwight Freeney on that team, too? Like, and they won nothing.
That's crazy.
It's Syracuse. That's still a small program.
But it's also crazy that Jefferson and Chase were the 1-2 receivers for LSU, and they rolled to a national championship. But Odell and Jarvis Landry didn't. So, but that's the Burrow effect.
True.
Yeah, they didn't really have anything at quarterback there. Anyway, so you went Neighbors. Okay, the pick was in, blah, blah, blah. Marvin Harrison the next pick. And then we had Odunze, right? And then we had Alt, goodbye, Alt.
Yep.
To see that. Okay. And then we had Atlanta go Dallas Turner. That was my pick, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then we had Verse, basically was the next pick. Okay. And now the Jets. And this is where the Brock Bowers thing is there for the taking, right? Essentially, Brock Bowers is there. And basically what we did, and I guess we could force a trade because Indianapolis would be initiating this trade, right? Or like whatever it might be, right? In theory, that's how this works, right? People typically initiate the trade up rather than initiate the trade down, although we do see it occasionally. Actually, we did not see in the movie Draft Day. I was thinking for a second we saw it.
Listen, if we operate under Draft Day rules, we can trade up to the first overall pick for our 7th rounder.
Yeah, and fun fact, Joe Douglas as a GM has never traded down, with the exception of and then the pick swap, if you want to count that.
Right. Okay. So this
other than that, he doesn't do it.
All right. This is what we did real quick. We basically had the Jimmy Johnson value chart, and we did this in Excel, just so I could show off my Excel skills in case any potential employer is watching. But yeah, I get that. But in the sense, this is how it works. Every pick is here around the point value per Jimmy Johnson value trade chart, the pick in the round. So this goes 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. We throw a screen up here because we really care about that. And then basically a drop down here for the picks, right? So Indy would initiate this trade, right? And they want pick 10 essentially, right? And so basically what happens is now we do a drop down here to figure out what Indy would have to accumulate in draft value in order to surpass this 1,300 mark, since that is the value that is assigned to pick 10, right? So for starters, pick 1 is definitely and right now we don't have anything lined up for next year's future value picks, which would be like a weighted average, but I'm not doing that right now because it's freaking nice.
And
it's enough as it is, and we're
we all know I'm gonna do this. I literally cranked this out in 2 minutes, pat myself on the back, right? Okay, so let's just say this hypothetically: pick 15 and pick 46, which would be Indy's 2nd rounder, would actually be enough to substantiate this trade. Now, in the event that, let's say, that's too much value, right? Because this is literally like, I don't know, let's do this real quick for a markup, right? A premium markup, right? As a percentage, that's a 14% markup. That's usually a lot, right?
Yeah.
Or 115%. So I could do all this -1, right? For the hell of, but you know what? I'm not going to bother, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could just compare it to round value. It's like like a 6th? It's like a typical 6th, or I'm sorry, typical 5th is the difference between those two.
Yeah. So let's see. I guess this would be the 6th rounder. That's not worth enough to kind of make it even. So I would ideally want to try and get this within 10%, right? To basically be sold, right? So that would be basically the 4th round pick, which is 111, and I could have done a lookup here for all that, but whatever. And then the 2nd round pick here. So I'd say this is a fair trade, right? Basically, it's 1st and 4th for Indy's 1st and 2nd, right?
Right. And I think, I mentioned this off camera. I think that the value that's not represented in this trade chart is the fact that you're allowing the Colts move into the top 10. So it is kind of a premium. Like, it shouldn't be apples to apples. The Jets should get, a little bit more of a better deal than the Colts.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this is totally fair.
It's the other factor of it too. Hey, you have to pick right now, not like in 10 picks, when the draft begins.
Exactly.
You have it right now. So maybe this is a little too much, but you know what? Getting a 2nd in this draft is pretty awesome, given that, like, hey, like, it's a 2nd, right? And
we're only going back a few places. It's not like we're going back to 25 or 30 or something like that. We're going back 5 places, and what we want is still almost definitely going to be there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing screen now because we've already established what that is. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to our PFF mock draft simulator thingy right now. It's going to be fun, right? We're going to go there, and we're literally going to initiate the trade. Okay. So basically, we do trade, right? So we go to Indy, right? Teams. Actually, this is interesting. Look at teams that are interested in pick 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indianapolis is not listed in here, but we have Indy here. Okay, so they're going to basically do that, and we're going to give them that. And we said
111.
11. Yeah, we have 134 also. That's interesting. Okay, so basically, force the trade, right? And then we redo it, right? Okay, so now Indy's on the clock, who we control now. And guess what? Brock Bowers right there.
Brock Bowers.
Obviously, these teams are going to start to auto draft, right? And then eventually, when the teams that we already picked for circulate back again, guess what? We're going to have to pick for them anyway. So we'll do that as quickly as possible. Here we go. Brock Bowers initiated. Cool. All right, so then let's just look at what just happened up here. So it looked like Minnesota just won the lottery because they wanted Jay McCarthy, and they probably would have to trade up for him, but they didn't have to. The Brian Thomas Jr. I think is very, very good and should be, is definitely worthy of that. Is there? Fuaga's gone and Latham's gone. So now the Jets are in a position where we can basically take best available offensive tackle. And oh my God, we're stuck with this decision now. Fatanu and Fashanu, were the guys we didn't go with last time because of the consensus voting that we did here.
Correct.
So I basically have the tiebreaker here, right?
Yeah.
So I decide pretty much which one we're going to go with here. And I would like to hear each of your arguments for the guy that you picked last time when we did this mock draft before I make that decision.
Got it. Well, I'll go first. I mean, when it came down to pro day, Fatanu, definitely impressed a lot of people. He's got also, by the way, the same arm length or longer arm length than Fuaga does. So he does have that. If you were looking at like measurables to look at, he is, definitely a strong, candidate at multiple positions on the O-line. He's played tackle, he's played guard, and he seems to, kind of be a little AVT-esque in that regard, and we've seen how helpful that's been for us. We know that, the Jets have been one of the most injured teams over the past, decade, and specifically at the O-line in the past 3 years. It really, really helps to have someone who can play multiple positions because, we got our solution at our O-line, at our various O-lines. Like, this is not a guy who's coming in to take somebody's spot. He's coming in to learn behind, people and then, step into that role, next year. But the reality is everything's on the line this year. And what do we need this year? We need a guy who can play multiple roles because we know Tyron Smith's going to get hurt at some point. We know someone else on the line is going to get hurt. So this rookie needs to be versatile. It needs to be someone that's going to, be able to see a lot of playing time at multiple positions. We don't want to handicap ourselves by just leaning into tackle and then having to scramble somewhere else, in my opinion.
Can you do me a favor, John? Can you go back to Fatanu and show the positions that he played?
Mm-hmm. It's all left tackle.
And then what's his name? Can you go back to him also? I just want to see that also.
Sure. It is mostly left tackle. There's some left guard in there.
So
and there's two stands for right tackle.
So I am going to take a step back and say that I 100% agree with Monty. I didn't realize that he played left tackle. I think I mixed up him and Fuaga in terms of because Fuaga has primarily played right tackle. I think Fatanu's the guy because he does offer that versatility and he can play left tackle because my biggest concern is left tackle. I think that right tackle, even if something does happen to Moses, I'm okay with Max Mitchell filling in for a couple of games. I'm not okay with someone filling in for Tyron Smith when he, eventually misses 3, 4, 5 games just for maintenance, whatever it is. So if you can get a guy that can be versatile, I think that's the way to go. So I think we're going to be in agreement. I think
cool.
Fatanu's the way to go.
And you know what? And one more thing, if you're looking at the future too, right? If you're looking at, okay, well, Smith maybe leaves next year, and maybe Fatanu's not good enough to be our, left tackle of the future, and maybe we want to go back in the draft and get someone else. That's actually okay because we can move him to left guard, we can move him to right tackle. He can play other positions and still be of use to us, and still be of future use to us. If he doesn't end up being our left tackle of the future, which he might.
Yep. Full agreement, 100%.
We're going to go with Fatanu, but actually thinking about it now and just looking at the size and the age as well, I would actually lean Fashanu on this one. Just because left tackle is more important. And Fashanu actually, before this little injury scare that he had pre-draft, right, postseason, right? I mean, people were arguing that this guy might have been ahead of Alt. Some people were. Obviously, Alt is the prize on this one, but just looking at the grades and all that, like just for kicks, right? The pass blocking is quite elite, and the run blocking is quite good, right? But then when you look at Fatanu, right, the pass blocking also elite, right? But the run blocking is not good, right?
So I get what you're saying, John. First of all, in terms of the age, but I think on a win now team, you might want somebody a little bit older, right? Somebody that's been a little bit more battle tested, somebody that, can step in to play multiple positions. So I totally get it. And I'll be honest, I don't think they can go wrong either way.
Right.
But I think for this exercise, I would lean towards the guy who offers a little bit more versatility.
Okay. And the last thing I wanted just to reiterate, if you look at the sack record for Fashanu, no sacks in his career, one QB hit, 16 total pressures, right? And then if you look at Fatanu, right, you got 3 sacks, which is still nothing, but it's still
3 in 3 years is still, exactly.
5 QB hits, and he's got more hurries in the last season than Fashanu had in his whole career in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are other factors, though, right? Like,
I guess look at this. Let's look at the big games, right? Fatanu in the big games, right? Which would be Michigan, graded out pretty well. I guess Oregon with Texas; those were pretty tough teams. Texas definitely. I'm trying to think who else is a major pass rusher in this group.
Not really.
Not really anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, USC. That's a little disappointing. USC. I mean, I'm looking at this. Iowa has a great defense.
UCLA. Where's UCLA? Because we have what's his face there.
I don't think they played UCLA.
Right, but then look at Fashanu against some of the elite teams. Iowa had a sick defense.
Yeah.
Michigan, great game too. Okay, I mean, you guys, it's 2-1. We're a democracy here, not a dictatorship. So, Fatanu's the pick, right? All right.
But again, just to preface again, either way, they're good.
Right.
So I think if they're both available, it's just whatever they do, they do.
Well, this is interesting, just how the rest of the board fell. So Barton went next to Seattle.
Okay.
Fashanu was the next tackle. Barton is actually a guard, really.
Right.
But, he's actually very good too, but he's just not built for that. He's basically strong defense.
And John, just to kind of stop here just for a quick second, and I know this is one mock, one scenario, so take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like 15 might be the lowest they can drop.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't know if they drop past 15, they're going to get one of these top guys.
Because what are the
dropped to 19, 20.
Now let's look at it, right? So this thing went through, right? And just to say, what the other picks were, Arnold, Byron Murphy replaces Aaron Donald. That's really funny. Bo Nix goes to Pittsburgh, which I don't think that really makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, that makes a lot of sense, though, for Byron Murphy to go.
Yeah, that one makes sense, but Bo Nix doesn't make sense. Mitchell,
no, they don't need another.
That kind of makes sense too. Then they lose Xavier Howard.
They lose Xavier Howard.
No, that does make sense for them.
UCLA, which makes no freaking sense, right? I guess they didn't need defense, Minnesota. Well, maybe they did.
Their corners are pretty bad in Minnesota.
Dallas got Mims, right?
That makes sense to replace Tyron Smith.
Edge to Green Bay. there. And then I guess if you just wanted to look at the OT market, it's going to be Guyton, who's actually really interesting. Guyton's really interesting. If you even traded further back, right? I know like this has been bad, right, and all that, but the sacks, once again, only 2 sacks in his fucking career, right? And also he was at the Senior Bowl too, and he looked pretty
what
good.
positions did he play? Left tackle.
Guyton was pretty much all over the place too. Right tackle and a little left.
I mean, not really all over the place. He was primarily a right tackle,
left
right?
and right, left and right.
And I think like, well, they have Paris Johnson, right? So if you went right tackle here with him, I think that would
make
be
sense for Arizona. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would make sense for Arizona, I think.
Yeah, that would. Okay, so let's just give him that, right? See what happens. See what the fucking Bills do with all of it, right? Okay. Yeah, they add up there. Kool-Aid, great name. Baltimore
Mitchell, there he is. Like it.
Another edge to fucking San Francisco, even though the needs were OL and cornerback, of course, right?
Adonai Mitchell makes sense too.
Okay, so Pats are on the clock again.
So, John, that's your pick. Let's just do it how we did.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Wait, I have not been keeping up at all. There is someone named Kool-Aid.
Yeah, there is someone named Kool-Aid.
Yeah, he's one of the best corners in the country.
You gotta look at the fucking names that are in college football.
Absolutely.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
these parents either had no idea what they were doing or knew exactly.
They had exactly.
Well, I mean, that's his nickname, right? That's not his first name. He's just known as Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it's like
his mom didn't name him Kool-Aid.
Like Clinton Dix. That was a nickname.
Sauce wasn't listed as Sauce Gardner on the fucking draft.
That's a good point too. But I think they can say what they want.
Legitimately his name. Someone looked it up while I make this pick.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
All right, Patriots need a wide receiver. I would think mostly after they solve the quarterback issue, right? So I would go probably McConkey. I think he's pretty solid. You good with that?
So his first name is JaQuincy.
Yeah, JaQuincy.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
G-A apostrophe capital Q.
Quincy.
Yeah, McConkey, definitely.
I'm very happy with Lad McConkey. He's the dude. When you watch him, right, like it's very, very Cooper Kupp-esque in how he can kind of like start and stop on a dime. He just really gets moving. Great hands, just like a very impressive receiver and great value.
Are you saying all that because he's white?
No,
well, I mean he's the perfect Patriot receiver, right? So I think
he's white too. Yeah. So like we talked about this the other day. Like I said, they were ecstatic that they didn't have to go for Daniels and they went for May.
If I was Chris Collinsworth, I'd be like talking about how smart he is, and how intelligent. Yeah,
exactly.
Such a big brain route runner.
You are such a fucking Edelman wrestler.
All right. So who had the Cardinals? Monty, I think, or John? Did you have the Cardinals?
Let's see. Where's LSU at here?
No, not anywhere near that.
All right, so think about this right now, right? Arizona, you already drafted Neighbors, and we just
and a right tackle.
Tyler Guyton for him. I did that pick for you, so my apologies, dude. But I think that made the most sense for him.
Yeah, that's fine. So they have O-line, they have wide receiver. I think you got to go.
Hard center. Wow, Jackson Powers Johnson made it to the second round.
Yeah,
I mean that's basically Tyler Lindbaum, basically, right? But he's quite good. I mean, if you look, this is just fucking elite. I mean, the Jets.
Look at this. Yeah. I think you got to go with the center.
Yeah, I mean, it's a need here. So okay, so you are a Cardinal. Okay, who was Washington again?
I was.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I know. So we went with Daniels. We need. Let's see.
Tight end, O-line, edge, DB.
Yeah, they're tough. So I guess you got to go with Newbin.
Newbin?
Yeah.
But there's no safety need there.
DB?
Well, I think DB is safety or
DB with balance safety instead of Okay, fair enough. Newbin, you are whatever that is.
I consider TJ Tampa, but since they said DB there, I feel like safeties are better for DB profile. Right. If it's a specific CB need, I would have picked Tampa.
Okay, fair enough. Chargers with me, right? Did they solve running back by any chance or no? and
Chargers?
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they did.
This would be the first running back off the board potentially, right?
Wow, that's late.
Yeah, look at that ADP and stuff. Like, can you take Brooks there? He's coming off of a torn ACL.
I know. Yeah, maybe not. Well, Blake Harbaugh, that's a Harbaugh guy all over. Yeah, that can wait. That can wait.
Oh, the Chargers signed Gus Edwards.
No, perfect.
Yeah. Brandon Fisk. I know everyone loves him.
Yeah. And they do need defensive line help. I mean, that could be the move.
Yeah, I'm picking that for him. Okay, Tennessee was
that was me. No, Tennessee was me. Let's see, Tennessee. So we already went. They went with Joe Alt. So they had the O line sorted out. I think at this point, you probably want to go. Well, at this point, I'm not gonna let Tampa fall below that, even though it's DB. I think that I think he's not gonna go past this part. I think you got to grab him up. He's just too talented to let him pass.
Okay. All right, cool. Carolina was an auto pick. They took Xavier Worthy. That's a pretty good pick. Yeah. Okay.
That is a great pick.
All right, Washington. God damn, really. Monty.
Yep. All right. Damn.
Yeah, you're fucking happy today, man. All the research you did for this. You really didn't do any fucking research for this. Okay, so
yeah, so I didn't do shit for this one. I was expecting just to look at the Jets picks. All right,
so you got safety. Just to recap, right? And you also drafted
QB, safety, and so they need
tackle, right?
Yeah.
O-line, edge. Well, they did lose a lot of edge guys in this offseason.
They lost Sweat.
They lost Young and Sweat.
Scroll down a little more. Oh, wait, stop.
Braswell.
Yeah, Braswell.
Yeah, Braswell's really good. He was good.
Braswell's a beast. Braswell's a beast.
Green Bay drafted Rekestraw, whatever. Okay, that's interesting. Falcons. Okay, so Falcons was me. Nice, I got it back now. Man, AJ Terrell, I think, is so fucking underrated. That would be a good pairing to put.
Franklin's great too. I mean, you need CB there, but yeah.
I don't think they need receiver help though, right?
No. I was thinking corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the best available? I guess it probably is.
And he was really good at Michigan too. Won a national championship. I don't think you can go wrong there.
Yep. Sinistro.
I've never. I forgot what he played like, but okay. Penix went to the Raiders. That made sense. Franklin, and now we're on the clock now. Okay.
So now,
I think it's Roman Wilson.
So now we're looking at wide receiver, best available wide receiver. Oh, that's huge. Oh, Roman Wilson or Purcell, he's great too. I'm okay with either of those guys. I think Roman Wilson. I think he profiles better to fit our scheme.
Just take a look. The receiving grade makes fucking sense. The touchdowns, all that, everything in the big games.
What's his measurables, like height and weight and stuff?
Let's see. We got 6 feet, 182. So basically,
that's Garrett Wilson.
So basically, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look at Purcell. I think
he's smaller, right? Oh no, he's bigger.
Got an inch on him and a little age too.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's a little bit older, but he's an inch taller, but the same weight, pretty much. Yeah, I think you go. Roman Wilson.
Yeah.
Anybody else we're not thinking of here? Burton, no. Keon Coleman.
No, he doesn't profile as he's not the.
Why he drops so much though?
He had an awful combine. He's a stiff route runner. Like he fit perfectly in that Florida State offense. But I don't think he's a guy that the Jets can rely on.
No on Polk.
Polk is interesting, but not over Roman Wilson.
Yeah, I would agree too. Okay, Roman Wilson, you are Jet. Okay, Giants. That was
all right. That's me. So we went with the wide receiver, and I think at this point for the Giants, if you go back to the top. I think going with the best tackle available to kind of bookend with Andrew Thomas, because Evan Neal's future I don't think is at right tackle. I think they're going to kick him into guard. So if you can take the tackle from scroll to the top, John. If you take Jordan Morgan, I think that's the guy that you can go with because they. What's that?
He lasted that far. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He lasted that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you can move him to right tackle and just you'll have your right tackle, your left tackle, and then your center who they drafted last year. So I think Morgan's the pick.
Okay, and once again, ladies and gentlemen, we only made one trade in this whole draft. Okay, fair enough. We go through a whole bunch of picks. Wow, it took a while to get back to it. Okay, so Cardinals again. And by the way, we only did this for 3 rounds, so the Jets will have another pick in a little bit. So okay, Cardinals, that is Monty again.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit. Let me see. Yeah. I feel
Rattler, interesting too. But I guess do they need a backup?
I don't think they need a backup.
No, they have Mariota as their backup.
Rattler would be kind of interesting given he was in Oklahoma for a little while too, right? And Kyle was an Oklahoma kid, but all right, yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think let's see.
Wow, Walker.
Yeah, you might have to go him. But
he's wide receiver, yeah.
No, you already went wide receiver.
They're deep at receiver, man. They don't. Oh, I'm sorry, the Cardinals. Yeah, I mean, maybe you do.
Wow, I know Byron Murphy's the guy, but this guy's fucking bad.
He just got arrested for a DWI, so I don't know if he's gonna fall down people's boards, but
he's here.
He's a beast. You know, I get it. I'm just saying in real life.
Yeah, but Arizona,
he is a beast.
Yeah, would Arizona take a chance on that? I mean, that's value right there. You know, it's just a DUI.
What about?
Raise your hand in this chat if you have a DUI on your record.
Not me.
All right, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
All right,
not to celebrate it. It's an awful thing. We made terrible mistakes, you know. But with that said, we're also not going to be paid millions of dollars to play football. So,
right.
But Monty, you're making the pick.
Scroll back up. I think honestly,
that's so awful.
I feel like they need. Don't they need someone to back up Connor though?
Well, Michael Carter's still there.
Yeah, Michael Carter's still there, and I feel like.
And Connor had a little bit of a deal recently, right? So he must have like at least another 2 years on his deal. I think
they have Connor, they have DJ Dallas, and
I don't hate that running back room. And also this Cardinals GM, the one that made those trades last year, right, with Houston. I mean, he kind of seems like he knows he's in a full rebuild, right? So he's not. I don't think he's going to waste the pick on a running back.
Yeah,
right,
probably
this early.
Probably not. All right, so then let's go with scroll back down. Damn, this is a tough one.
That's what I was thinking. Sweat. I mean, that just makes a lot of sense. They have the need,
Yeah, I guess let's go with Sweat.
Yeah, it's too bad. Okay. On the clock, Washington. Jesus fucking Christ.
All right, let's go. Let's see. So all right, scroll down a little bit.
We probably need edge. Did we take an edge guy with them already or no? Oh, we did.
Braswell. Yeah, so edge is good. So probably need
DB.
Yeah,
either DB or tight end.
All right, I'll just do this. Look at me go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so it's
I have an affinity for Miami University players, but that's way too far.
No, you can get that in the next round. Yeah, just go with best available, Jaden Hicks.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, Pats, I'm up. All right, so let's see what we did already for the Patriots, right? We got a quarterback, a white one. We got a wide receiver, also a white one, right? All right. I wish there was a filter here for just white players. Is Christian Haynes white?
I have no idea.
Jonathan Brooks could no, that's definitely not white. Jalen McMillan, that's a pretty white name.
I think that's definitely not a white person. Jalen.
No, yeah, that's right. Wide receiver, good call.
Yeah, wide receiver. Nah.
Olsen, I think.
Wide receiver named Jalen will never be a white dude.
And Christian Haynes is not white.
Yeah.
Christian Haynes is not white. All right. Well, they need an edge guy, right? So let's be fair, right? I think that. Well, I don't know why.
I mean, they need everything, dude. In all honesty, right? Like, I think they need everything.
I know. I just want to get them white guys, man. I think Blake Fisher. That's
yeah, because it's Boston.
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? Just get them white guys, right? I'm gonna go Blake Fisher. I think. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the other bookend of fucking Joe. Man, they're gonna be bad next year. I mean, they were not great last year in Notre Dame, but man, they're losing both their tackles.
I don't know, man.
They're losing a lot in Notre Dame.
I feel like everyone expects them to be a little too bad for my taste. Like, like it's just the Pats just always find some way to like somehow.
Yeah, but that was with Belichick.
Oh well, Blake is
we'll see.
Not white. Not white. Wow. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
Let's take race out of it for this pick, and let's make the best pick possible.
Fine. Austin Booker. I'm going with the whitest name I saw there. Okay, Chargers. That's me again.
That's you. Damn it.
I'm gonna take Jonathan Brooks here.
I think that's value.
Wait. Running back. Yeah, Corum.
He's the best available value for
sure.
That's a horrible guy. And that's right in the range. So
that's a no-brainer for them.
Yeah.
Yep. Blake Corum, and he was great too. Okay, and no injury. All right, Giants.
All right. So we went quarterback, and then we went offensive line, right? No, we went
tackle.
Receiver and offensive line. I'm sorry, receiver and offensive line.
Well, you could get a quarterback now too if you really wanted to.
Yeah. So in the third round, I just don't think.
Just see what quarterbacks are here.
Yeah, I think those guys are later. I don't trust Rattler.
I like Austin.
I don't trust Rattler. Let's go back to the board.
Travis, wow.
Yeah, that's why I want the Jets to take later. But let's go back to the top to the whole.
The whole thing. Cool.
Yeah, the whole thing. So let's I think.
And they could use a running back now too, if you really think about it. I mean, who did they get? They got Devin Singletary.
Yeah, I think they're going to be not great. So I think this might be the place for Brooks because he is explosive. And if you don't have to use him this year, fine. I think Brooks in the third round here is great value. So I would go Brooks.
There you go. All right, Monty, you're up.
Jalen.
Yeah, I think you got to do
wide receiver.
Yeah, they need him.
Fair enough. All right, now it's up to the Jets. All right, so we took care of wide receiver and tackle, and obviously we did that in free agency anyway. So really, you could just take best player available.
Yeah,
this is interesting. I mean, this could be.
Well, let's look at the safeties, right? Let's see what safeties are available.
Well, wait. We'll go back real quick and see when Cameron Kitchens is 87.
Yeah, that's
and
the thing. I think
what's the ADP at that point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, ADP is kind of here nor there at that point, right?
Yeah,
I mean a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, I get
All
you.
right, so but let's look at who else. Just scroll down slowly a little bit, John. See who else is here, right?
Adler.
Right.
I think this is too high for a
Devontae Walker. Ooh.
I mean, another receiver.
Well,
I don't think they do that again. I mean, they could go another defensive lineman, right?
Well, let's just see what's available.
Oh, Sala would love that.
Yeah, I mean,
anybody here of interest?
Price is really interesting. Hall is really interesting with that
Xavier
Ohio
Thomas,
State.
but that's later.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love it. I mean, yeah.
Let's go back to best available, right? Because I think that's what they might do here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they probably would do best available.
You know, because right now, if you look at
more security in the interior, maybe
at the line. Yeah,
I mean, dude, I don't think if Haynes is there, I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah. I mean,
solid run blocking grades, solid pass blocking.
Yeah.
And I think like
well,
if
you're not
John's
taking quarterback, right? That's out, right? Yeah, it's totally out.
Not yet, anyway.
I don't think you're taking a quarterback in the third round. You know,
a quarterback. I said
corner. Yeah, I don't think you're taking a corner, man. Not this early. They
don't probably out too. Given you probably have the second best combo after maybe San Francisco right now, just because Patrick Queen did go to Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, and then you'll also have like guys like Sherwood that they like. Man,
yeah, I really like Sherwood,
but I don't. So I think if you go guard, John Simpson as of right now is the weak link, right? So like, if he didn't perform, you have your guy you could slide in there at left guard.
Do you think he's the weak link, or is AVT because of the injury shit?
I'm talking about just talent, pound for pound.
We're talking. Yeah, we can't.
Yeah,
you can't.
All right, yeah, I get what you're saying there.
Yeah.
If they're both playing, then yeah.
Right.
Joe Douglas would have struck out again at guard. That would have been really disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this is the way this board fell is interesting because there's like.
Yeah, I wish I expanded this to more rounds now I think about it because look at all these quarterbacks. Travis is gettable, right?
Yeah.
In the fourth
round. That would have been.
I definitely think that's a great pick for us.
Tua's brother, just for the fuck of it. He's garbage.
He's terrible.
I like Hartman. Hartman has the best beard in college football.
Yeah, Hartman is really
Joe Milton.
Good.
Joe Milton.
He's a very handsome dude, and he was in that QB1 thing originally, right?
What do you guys think about Joe? What do you guys think about Joe Milton?
I am not a fan of Joe Milton at all. If they took him at any point, I would not be happy.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so I guess we're going guard.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's think about this. Like,
it's best available. It backs up AVT. I mean, I think.
And the alignment would be right guard, so that would be AVT.
Yeah, let's do it. I think that's the move.
Yeah, 4-year starter. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Just see the trends or the analysis. Balance could be an issue. Doesn't sit well in pass protect. Not nearly as effective. Okay, but everything else looks pretty good. All right, fuck it. All right,
I think that's good.
Do this shit again. Okay. They don't have a backup, so I'll go Rattler behind fucking Cousins. What do you guys think I'm crazy for that or no?
I mean,
actually, they need defense like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the only thing. That's the only concern there.
All right, so best available Colson. All right, Bears. We didn't we take care of defense too with their second?
Yeah, so I think we went verse with the second, so I don't think they're gonna go 2 edge guys. There's a lot of talk of them going wide receiver. I would go Devontae Walker here.
I do like Walker.
Yeah, so I think I would go Walker here. Just give Caleb another weapon.
Why is he falling? Did he get the DUI, you said?
No, that was Sweat.
No, Sweat.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. Well, all right. Washington.
Well, Washington pretty much got all their needs sorted out already in the prior rounds.
Safety. You still could address the offensive line. It's probably the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
We draft 2 safeties for them? No, did we? Yeah, you did draft 2 safeties for him. Hicks there, 67, and then edge. Sorry, yeah,
edge. No, I went with edge.
Safety again here too. Yeah, you did draft 2 safeties for him. So they did the Jets 20.
The Jets, Marcus May and Jamal Adams.
Okay, so way to go.
All right, so what do we got left? We got some DB sort of. Yeah, you got to go with Blake Fisher.
Yeah. Okay, me. Okay, here we go again. This is gonna be another defensive pick. Actually, they could use another wide receiver.
Drake London and who else they just get?
Darnell Mooney.
Yeah. They need someone. How tall is Drake London? I feel like they need a big body.
Drake London's fucking huge.
Drake London is huge. Like Johnny Wilson is in the mold of Drake London. He's 6'7".
Right.
Something like that. He's crazy at 6'7".
That's a fucking big kid.
Yeah,
Jesus. He's got to be slow as hell. Though.
Yeah, but you're gonna need someone a little different than that.
What about Baker? I've read really good things about Baker. I feel like he's.
Hey, listen, I'll never hate on a UCF pick, so that's where I went.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Didn't you go there?
Yep.
All right. UCF. Okay. Bengals, Colts again. All right, we're back here.
I say Johnny Wilson here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like a big receiver for Richardson, opposite Pittman. Like I think that would be a great pick.
That's a great name, Jamari Thrash. It's a great name.
I love He's good too, but I think Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson's the best available.
Think about the size they'd have. Pittman is a big receiver.
Yeah,
Bowers is huge.
Wilson
would be huge. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, and Anthony Richardson is probably more of a jump ball throw type of receiver than like the quarterback. I mean, rather than like
than a precise route.
All right, it's a big target guy. Okay, here we go. There, Cardinals. We already addressed receive. I guess you could take a running back here if you really wanted to.
Yeah, let's go with Benson.
All right.
Man, there's so many good players left.
I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with this. That crap FSU guys.
Yeah, it's a deep draft for the first few rounds.
All right. Washington again. We already addressed safety.
All right. So
we did just cornerback.
We have
two safeties, but no cornerbacks.
Two safeties.
And just remember they got Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's stick with the FSU vibe, Jerry and Jones.
All right, cool. I think that's it for us. That's it. All right, grading our draft. I don't think it's going to grade anything because we have so many freaking teams. Oops. Yep. Okay. Fair enough. That's it. Do you guys want to do this again with a different trade option for the Jets at 10?
Yeah, let's see how the rest of this week.
Okay. Can you put that back up on the screen? The results. Does it say all 3 rounds?
No, it does not. It just goes. Yeah, but basically the Jets adjust everything essentially in that. Yeah, we had the greatest draft of all time.
So who do we have? We had Fatanu, and then we had Lad McConkey, right?
No, we had Roman Wilson.
I grabbed him as a Patriot guy because I'm white.
It was
Roman Wilson, right?
And then we went with Haynes, the guard from UConn.
Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic.
All right,
I mean, if they come out of it with that, I'm happy.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys want to do another mock draft? Different trade partner, though. Who do you think would be traded? I mean, there's the options, right? I mean, I guess we could do this, right? We could assume that Minnesota is going to swap with what's called the Chargers, right? We could do that.
Well, let's
save that.
Yeah, let's see how the rest of the week plays out. See if there are any trades. And then next week, maybe we can come back with a different scenario. Maybe do like a 30, like for full first round mock or something like that. But I think this mock puts us in a good spot for what we're understanding.
I'm sure there'll be some other trade up, trade back rumors. Other people that may come out, as wanting to, find a trade partner, and we can work with that.
I will say, so it's interesting. So basically 15 is as far back as we can go.
That's what I'm thinking, man. Like I said, I know this is just one exercise, but I do feel like anything further than 15, you're risking a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because all those guys all the way up from through Latham, Fatanu, Fashanu, Fuaga. Those guys are all the start ready guys. Anyone beyond Latham really kind of starting to get a little bit into shape.
There's a guy in there, probably the borderline ones.
Well, right, because then you're getting into developmental guys that can't step in like in year 1, right? So I think that's what you have to look at. So I think 15 is the furthest down they can go.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to look, but there's that one kid from Yale that I really like at tackle too. I know it's not a big school, but like he's going to be second rounder, I think. And I think he's going to be really good. I forgot his name is freaking hard to remember, dudes. You guys know what I'm talking about? There's a Yale guy.
I do. I feel like, again, like guys from schools like that, I think are more developmental than the Jets want to kind of go. Yeah. So I think like you need one of those guys that, like, if another team drafted them they would start immediately, right? I think that's kind of how you have to look at it.
All right, the guy I was saying was Kieran Amengad DJ. Yeah, 6'5", fucking 323 pounds. It looks like he's the 11th tackle off the board, though.
Do you still have? Oh, you can't see anything beyond the first round of what we did, right?
No, it only shows unless we did just the Jets, like essentially if we did just the Jets and let the league play itself out. I mean, we could do that,
Yeah. Well, all I was interested in was what receivers went in the third round in this draft.
All the guys that we did draft, But
yeah,
I thought I went through that list.
It was Devontae, Walker went, Johnny Wilson went. There were like Malachi Corley was still there. That's a guy who people see as like a sleeper. Like, this is why I'm saying, like, I feel like even if they can't facilitate a trade, I think they can get an excellent game-breaking alpha receiver in the third round. I really, really believe that.
I don't know, man. I mean, the fact that we can't even hardly remember the names of who went at receiver in the third, we know all the guys in the second, we know all the guys in the first. We know what they're capable of.
Yeah, but who knew Puka Nacua, right? That's all I'm saying. Is that like just because we know their names, it doesn't mean that like you can't find that like Tank Dell won in the third round.
Man, fine. I mean? And but the other side of that is just because Puka Nacua went in the fourth doesn't mean that we should it doesn't mean that we're going to pull that kind of a talent out of the fourth round. It's actually more likely we don't.
Right,
than do.
And I get that. And I also think again, right, just really like gaming it out. If for some reason they can't trade back, I just really believe that there's more of an opportunity to get an impactful wide receiver in the third round than there is to get an impactful tackle.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Right? So I think like if it plays out to where they can't trade down, you go best available tackle, whatever your flavor is at 10, and then in the third round, you make that wide receiver pick and see if a guy like Mike Williams and Garrett Wilson can help develop this guy along with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, ultimately what I was getting at is that, if we trade back, that by far, in my opinion, creates the best case scenario for us versus like
it does.
Staying at 10 and then trying to pick up scramble for a wide receiver in the third. I think this just kind of showed how different that is and how much better that is. I mean, love that.
Yeah, here was the scenario. Basically, we gave up 5 spots for the option to take Tuaga, and then I guess Latham, right? Latham went a little bit higher than I guess the 3 of us basically said, because we preferred Patanu and then Fashanu over Latham. Although I really like Latham too. And I think I mentioned it last time. I was just like, what, Latham might be the guy.
He's going to go higher than people think. I think there are a bunch of teams that rank him higher than what he's been going in the mocks. I think he's going to be good.
And what I would also say, so just to play devil's advocate on that point, Monty, like that is also my worry about trading down to 15, right? Like if the Vikings trade up to 4, right? Or they trade up to 5, right? Who's to say that if the Chargers trade down to 11, they're not going to go tackle, right? Like there are going to be so many teams in between 10 and 15 that could go tackle also. If these guys are as advertised, and from what I also understand, is next year's draft in totality is nowhere near as good as this draft, especially at like tackle and quarterback. So if you want your tackle, you got to get it in this draft. So that's just my hesitation about trading down, is that what if you get shut out of all of those tackles? Right? You trade down to 15, someone jumps over you. That's my only hesitation there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many went in the first and how many went before 15,
Absolutely. And again, right, it's one exercise, so who knows? But just to play devil's advocate there, that's the only hesitation I would have.
Yeah. I think there's just more of a hesitation to not trade back beyond 15, but I think trading back to 15 is safe. I don't think you lose. I think you get someone, because the thing is, for every one that goes, like, let's say Latham goes before 15 for some magical reason, that doesn't mean that Latham and Fuaga and Fashanu and Fatanu all went before him. You know what I mean? I think it's very unlikely. I think the more you have people upsetting or taking tackle that you didn't expect, I think that's less likely that other people are taking tackle, in a row.
I want to pull something up if that's fair. I basically have the from NFLDraftBuzz.com. I have the 2024 rankings on the tackles, and then also the next class as well, and the scores I gave basically everyone. And I think it's interesting. So I'm gonna have to share screen. It's gonna be a little difficult, but let's see if I can do this. I can do this. I'm freaking John Excel master. Okay, so this is basically the class of this year, right? Obviously, Alt is can't miss prospect. Guy 6'9". It's fucking ridiculous. We got 89s, 88s, basically, and then it starts to dip a little bit here at Mims, right? So it made sense that we were saying, hey, these are the 5, right? But then if you go to 2025, and everyone can see my screen, no one is above an 86 right now. But obviously, these could change with another year of experience and proven record, right? But that is a little concerning. Now, if you switch this around to, let's say, wide receivers, right? We're going to do this for both sides of the coin, right? Wide receivers. Obviously, what's his face? Marvin Harrison Jr. is a legendary prospect. Yep, there he is, making a ridiculous catch.
Circus catch,
93. But even Malik Neighbors is ridiculous, right? And we were talking about.
I mean, Odunze is not even that far off. Neither is Brian Thomas, right?
Remember how we talked about the gap between these two, and then Odunze was a lot larger than people thought? I mean, it's not true. But then if we look at this class here, this would be the next class of wide receivers. Oh, Burden, 93. Jeez. That's
small guy though.
No, he's 5'11".
It's like
right?
it's like, I guess he's like a slower Tyreek.
Yeah, I mean this class, I mean, it's going to be good, but it's nowhere near this class.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Emeka has been hurt,
Just curious, what's quarterback looking like? Sanders,
Shador,
I mean, Drew Aller, that's a joke. Carson Backer, this is a bad class.
Screams, what's his face? Hattenberg nightmares.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I feel like if you're gonna get your tackle, it's got to be this year.
Yeah, I think you're right on this one. I think you could punt on wide receiver for next year. You also might need 2 next year if Lazard doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
Good point.
And I mean, Mike Williams too, right? Unless you can re-sign him.
Yeah, you might need 2. Okay. Anyway, final thoughts, I guess, right? Monty, fuck it.
It's funny. I kind of went through my my final thoughts already, but I mean, it was pretty much that we've seen, and that was my point in kind of bringing this exercise up and thinking about this and us, agreeing to do it. I think it really hammers home how important and how impactful it will be for us to trade down. I think that the risks. I think the risks. The reward far outweighs the risks. I think that it helps us in a year where we need to leave as little to chance as possible. I think that we need to seriously explore making trading back a possibility, as long as we're not going too far back beyond 15, maybe 16 might still work, 14, 13, something like that. But we can't go too far. I think ideal is Indy. I think their picks are situated in the first and second rounds. We don't lose that much up front, And then in the second round, we still get a solid value. I mean, someone like Rome Wilson with other options like Ricky Pearsall and guys like that. I think that's just a no-brainer. You can't go wrong. I like how this played out, and I hope that our draft is as fruitful.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you said, Monty. I just like after doing this exercise, I'm a little bit more hesitant to trade down than I was. I worry about the guy you're gonna get. I feel like if there's a guy that they love, they should just take him at 10 and figure the rest out. I think John has brought this up before. You can also trade back into the second round if somebody gets there, that you really like and you can swing it. There are always teams looking to trade down. I think a really smart thing that Douglas did was trade a 2026 pick for because now he has his full complement of 2025 picks if he wants to trade a future pick to move into the second round. So I think that was smart planning by Douglas. So I think at the end of the day, what this exercise did for me most of all is it just showed how many options the Jets have available to them, right? Is they can do so much with this pick if they work it right. I think there are just so many options, So they're in a really good spot. I think we're going to do, at least maybe one more mock draft before the draft, maybe two. And we're also going to have some really cool stuff coming up. So lots to look out for. But I think this exercise just showed lots of options. And I think we said it last time, as long as the Jets make a pick on offense in the first round, and with their second pick, whether it's the second or third round, they can't go wrong. So let's cross our fingers and hope they're thinking the same way we are.
And by the way, if you're looking at this at home, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or you can just hit the thumbs down button a whole bunch of times just to try and adjust. But we are relentless in that sense that
Correct.
We don't care. I mean, we do, but we don't.
Yeah, let's ignore John and not do that.
Yeah,
definitely don't. So let's thumbs up, like, and comment, please.
All right, fair enough. I'm exhausted from all my activities today, which did not involve golf. They involved work. But you know what? I will say this. I don't think there is one right path in this one, right? And Joe Douglas, I think he has a good feel for what the rest of the room is thinking, right? And by the room, I mean like the rest of the NFL teams, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that goes a little bit underappreciated. I mean, especially like, for example, in 2022, when he traded up to get Breece Hall, that was that I don't think anyone saw that coming, Right. I didn't think we needed a running back then, right? And he was the best running back in that draft class and is very convincingly arguably a top 5 running back going into next year.
I think for sure he is.
I think top 3, man, but
I think so too. I think it's him, McCaffrey, and Barkley. Probably those two ahead of him just because they have the years to prove it, right? But what's it and not only did that get us a fucking lightning bolt at running back, but that also cock blocked the shit out of the Bills who were looking to get him.
Yep.
So Douglas is going to do things very strategically that I think are going to make a lot of sense. And I would be surprised if they stayed pat at 10, but I would understand it too if they really like the guys as that echoed, right? If they really like someone, they're probably just going to sit there and do it and not take a chance on that because I'm not going to lie, this first round pick is going to have to hit. It's going to, no matter what it does, it's going to have to hit, even if it's a back roll going into the season, because that's what it looks like right now, because it looks like everything's pretty much set. It's got to fucking hit. And best player available might be the option, but in the end, I think lineman makes sense just because we're just scarred with injuries on that offensive line. And also Aaron Rodgers injury too, but we're scarred there. So anyway,
and we kind of know one is going to happen too.
Yeah, we know one's going to happen. But also we know that, we're always going to stand universally proud on this slogan. Fuck the Patriots. Fuck the Dolphins. Fuck the Bills.
All day, every day.
Go Jets.
Go Jets.
Guys.
Amazing. Thanks, everyone.